Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Now we welcome Ms. Yolandi Vermaat, President of Wombat Rescue. And I'd like to remind witnesses of the protections and obligations afforded by parliamentary privilege and draw your attention to the privilege statement, which is the pink sheet on the table in front of you. If you can confirm that you understand the statement and agree to comply with it.
I do.
Thank you. Would you like to make a short opening statement?
I do, thank you.
And if you would just state your name and position at the start.
My name is Yolandi Vermaat and I'm the President and Founder of Wombat Rescue in the ACT. Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk to you today. Wombat Rescue was established in 2018 and registered as a not-for-profit incorporated association in 2019. In 2022, we became fully licensed to care, rehabilitate and release wombats in the ACT. Wombat Rescue started as a road rescue initiative, but today is a fully fledged licensed wildlife group that has considerable experience in managing bare-nosed wombats, implementing large-scale population treatment programs to eradicate mange, lobby for change, managing the ACT Government Wombat Sightings Portal, and we are a founding member of the ACT Wombat Stakeholder Working Group. Today we are differentiated as the leading wombat group in the region. We provide specialist advice, care, training, education to stakeholders such as other wildlife groups, councils, government departments, rangers, urban developers, and collaborative parties like ecologist organisations. So how do our operations work? I live in a 3-bedroom house on a 400 square block, and at any given time I can have up to 8 wombats in my home, at different ages and with different requirements. A team of volunteers come into my home regularly to help feed the young ones and help clean the bigger wombats. The smallest wombat I have in care is 600 grams, and I get up twice during the night to feed her. With critically ill wombats, I may get up by the hour to provide medicine and care. All these animals, when they have grown and when they are healthy, need to move to larger enclosures, and this requires us to have capacity. We are asked by groups such as ACT Wildlife, Wildcare, NAG, Wires, and as far away as South Coast Rescue to take in these critically ill adults or challenging cases in wombats because we have the skill and expertise to deal with them. Wombat Rescue is primarily funded by donations. We've received a small amount of funding by the ACT government in 2022, which was $10,000, but this was redirected from other funding. We have recently also received a grant this year for $24,000 for mange treatment. And although we're grateful for this, it's a fraction of what we spend on mange treatment and our operations. Across most states, but very much so in the ACT, wombats are in trouble. They face urban development where their homes are destroyed, where they are either killed in the process or if they survive, they're forced to move into occupied territory, which causes a raft of problems. They face increasing car strikes as our population grows and their habitat dwindles. They face dog attacks as more people use recreational space shared with wildlife and do not have their dogs on a leash. They face mange, the biggest threat of all, and this is an animal welfare crisis. All of these issues that wombats face in our city are causing an increase in the calls we receive and the amount of wombats we have to deal with on a daily basis, as well as our overall workload. To give you some context of the scope of our operations, there are 2 ways in which we have contact with mange treatment and with wombats. First of all, wombats we don't see, but we know they're there in mange-affected areas. In these areas, we normally do a population treatment program where we treat hundreds of burrows at a specific set period of 15 weeks. We are currently doing such a program and population treatment at Point Hut West, and we are covering 150 burrows and targeting approximately 50 to 60 wombats. On top of this, we then have individual wombats reported by members of the public. Each wombat has a name and a photo, and we are able to track them individually, whether that is to rescue, euthanize, bring into care, or to treat them for mange. From the beginning of this year, in 2024, to the end of June, we have brought into care 19 wombats. We have rescued 4 wombats. We've released 5 wombats. and we treated 58 individual wombats for mange in the field. This is 86 individual wombats over 6 months that each required a high level of interaction, resources, intervention and forward planning such as carers, skills, resources, costs, vet assistance and enclosure requirements. And furthermore, with the ACT Mange portal, since inception of 2021, it has had 528 records. Wombat Rescue manages the vast majority of these. This is an extraordinary amount for services that we deliver to our community. The ACT government has made available land to other animal groups in the ACT, such as ACT Rescue and Foster, or ARF, and 2 individual sites for ACT Wildlife, and possibly more. What we are asking is to be afforded the same opportunity to expand and have land available to us. To enable our operations to be in line with other animal groups in the ACT, and with the help of our government, there are 3 main issues that we would ask assistance with. 1 is land. This can be divided into 2 parts, urban and rural. Urban is a high priority for us to have a block available where we can build enclosures and expand our capacity to care for wombats, and where we can conduct our operations from. Rural land is a long-term goal and wish, where we can have a large piece of rural land available to establish a sanctuary, to have the safe release of wombats in care, and a possible relocation site for wombats affected by urban development. Number 2, recurrent funding for mange treatment. The Victorian government has committed $400,000 for mange in 2021, and they have provided $100,000 over 4 years per year. The New South Wales government has committed $2.5 million for mange treatment in 2023. We have only received $35,000 from the government, and this was in the form of a grant and not recurrent funding. And we have been doing mange treatments since 2018. We would like to ask the AC government to commit to recurrent funding, as this is a shared concern for wombats in our midst. The problem of mange is big and it cannot be addressed by volunteers and donations only. And number 3, a wildlife vet. I know this has been lobbied for already, but I would like to reiterate that need again. Wombats have died in our care because we could not get them to a vet in time. We couldn't find a vet confident enough to help with wildlife, or we were downright refused services. The need for a dedicated wildlife vet as a shared resource between all wildlife groups in the ACT is now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In a way, my first question would be, why didn't you bring a wombat with you? But that aside...
A distraction.
So